This is Lisa Parmley from businessbolts.com, and in this video I'm going to show you my Adsense account back when I started getting serious about using it as a way to earn money. Many people want to start an online publishing business earning money with Adsense, but there's really not a whole lot of credible training out there. Most of it's put together by people teaching you how to build hundreds of pretty trashy sites, and they spin it as a way to make fast money online, as though you'll be able to turn your computer into an instant money-making machine without a whole lot of work. You know, if it sounds too good to be true, unfortunately it probably is, and I can tell you that really is too good to be true. But you can make good money with Adsense, and in my opinion, you can run it as a legitimate business model. And I'd like to show you how in this training. But before I get into the actual training, I want to show you some statistics I have from when I was running a lot of Adsense ads on a few of my sites. That way you can see I've actually done this and make your decision as to whether or not you want to take my advice. I do have to blur a lot of things out, as it's against the terms of service of Google to show most of this. This collection of sites that I'll be showing you Adsense earnings from was a side business of mine that ended up doing pretty well. And there are actually a lot of lessons I learned from this, and I'll share those with you throughout the training. Anyway, I had opened an Adsense account back when Google first started the program, like around 2005, and I didn't do a whole lot with it until several years later, maybe around 2008, when I built a site that started making about $12,000 a year. So I decided to really try harder with it and see how far I could push it. I made that decision around the end of 2009, and my goal then was to make over $100,000 in a year from the program. So I built a few more sites late that year in 2009 and ended up putting the Adsense code on them. And so what I'll do here is I'll start at January 1st, 2010, because that's where things started to get more interesting, and I'll go up from there. And I'll show you how my Adsense income went up pretty quickly as the year went on. As you can see, that year started out pretty slow. I was at just $14 on the first of the year, but it started moving up. Here I had a $44 day. I was actually working pretty hard on this little business at the time, and that's why things started picking up. I had built a bunch of sites a couple of months before with content, and I was starting to promote them. So that's why you see this go up so quickly. So here I actually got it up to $100 in a day by mid-January. Again, the sites were built in November and December of the previous year, so it's not like I just flipped a switch and they started earning money. It took me 2 months or so to get to this point. Plus I had a lot of experience with SEO, which was how I was driving most of the traffic, and I also had a few sites running Adsense that had been around a lot longer. Anyway, here you can see the earnings drop down, and that was on a weekend. I noticed for a lot of the sites I've built that my earnings always drop down on the weekends. So, you know, there's probably just less people online searching for things. And that's how things went the whole way through, that I had all these particular sites. And here we can see it went all the way up to $161 a day. And then here things went back down again, down to under $50 a day on some days. And then it was just back and forth, really. Most days here in this set are over $100 a day, and I actually came close to a $200 a day amount right here. Then finally $207 in a day, followed by several in a row with $262 at the highest. And then if we go down further, as time moves on, I got to a $300 a day. So at that point I didn't have any days under $100 anymore, and most of them were around $200 to $300 a day. And really it kept going like that for the rest of the year, with as much as a $400 a day earnings near the end of the year. And as you can see, I actually made about $69,000 from Adsense that year, which was nice money. Again, I put in some pretty hard work on these sites, so it wasn't like I just flipped a switch. So here I've gone ahead and adjusted the Adsense dates to show you from 2011, and I actually did break $100,000 in Adsense that year. And it took me just part of the way through the year. So that's why I have the date set from January 1st to August 5th, because that was the day that I broke the $100,000 mark. So that's all I'm going to show. So here, if I just run through this quickly, I had a $500 a day early on. If you remember from the last set, I was at $400 a day near the end of the year. And, you know, just from continually promoting these sites and adding new content and doing proper on-page SEO, I was able, you know, to keep pushing the site's earnings. And, you know, as you can see, it went all the way up to a $600 day that first month. And in addition to seeing things always go down on the weekends, these markets that I was in really ramp up at the beginning of the year. And a lot of markets do that. So that's why I saw such a big jump in January of both 2010 and 2011. And that's really just how it is in some markets. For example, weight loss is like that because people are excited to make a change in their lives at the beginning of the year. So stuff that deals with health and really anything dealing with money and even love really ramp up in January because of New Year's resolutions. And the markets I were in were no different. So that's why it's like that. And as you can see, it goes back down in February. So things had calmed down by then. The year's not as new, and you don't get the rush of New Year's folks anymore. And it's really like that for a lot of markets, really almost anything I've ever been involved in. So as you can see, though, I still had some $500 days in February. And then in March, some $600 days, and even a $757 day near the end of March. So that was great. And here, the last day I'm showing from my screenshots, August 5th, I broke the $100,000 in AdSense mark. So that's all I want to show. But for me, I thought that was a lot as just a small business owner, especially to earn just from AdSense. It proved to me that it can be done. And for whatever reason, it was a goal of mine to do well with the AdSense program. So I was happy to get to that point from just a single year's worth of earnings. And as you can see, the previous year was pretty good too. And again, I'm showing you this because I know so many people are down on AdSense and they'll say stuff like, well, you know, don't use AdSense if you want to make real money. And I think it's kind of a crazy thing to say. The thing is, many of the sites I'm showing you statistics from also had other ads running on them. So I actually made almost this much money in those years from affiliate and CPA offers along with the AdSense. And that's from all these same sites. So I did earn from other means too, and pretty close to double what I'm showing you here. But the AdSense money was by far the easiest. You just copy and paste the code on your site and you're pretty much done. You can definitely tweak things like where you put the ads and the format and the look of the ads, but really there's not that much to it. With some of the CPA ads I was running, there were so many choices and it was a lot more tricky to implement. And then they have more rules, like your affiliate manager will email you and say, hey, you're violating this client's agreement. Please remove this line of text from your copy now. Or, you know, you need to take down this ad right now, and they'll say things like, please do it right away or we can't pay you. So it's just stuff like that that's kind of a hassle and it adds a lot of stress. So I have experience running different types of ads, again, AdSense, affiliate, and CPA offers. And in my opinion, AdSense is by far the easiest to deal with, and it's profitable if you get into the right type of market. There are companies out there earning millions of dollars a year from the AdSense program. I believe Mashable.com and TechCrunch.com both use AdSense at the time I'm recording this video. And they're giant, very popular tech sites. So it's definitely a solid business monetization model. And often it's one of the best choices for many people. So I just want to wrap up this video, and on my site I'll share with you things I learned from this side business. I don't currently run a whole lot of AdSense ads. I'm focused on building my businessbolts.com site, which is the site where I will have the written part of this and the other training. And I don't believe that monetizing it with AdSense would be the best move for me. So I don't do as much with that. But I think you can see that I have been very successful with the AdSense program. So hopefully you'll be willing to go through my training and learn what I did right along with the mistakes I made so that you can do even better. So I'll post the rest of this at the businessbolts.com site.